What if I told you there's a fairy tale village just 40 minutes from Lisbon, where whitewashed houses cling to dramatic Atlantic cliffs and waves crash hundreds of feet below ancient stone walls? But wait until you see the secret ocean pool that locals have kept hidden for centuries. Join me as we explore every hidden corner of Azenhas do Mar in stunning 4K. Let's discover Portugal's most photogenic village together.
É.
Nossa, estão construindo uma casa aqui.
Christoph hat gemeint, noch nicht so machen.
Boa tarde.
Boa tarde.
Yeah, but there's also a load of rigging being moved over now. Unless there's some kind of show. Sang了，这就上了啊。
Jet ski dia buka pada. Oh God! It goes in our pool. Mana komentar itu?
Vamos lá dizer ao Zé. Vês o Zé sentado aqui em cima.
Não gosto que seja
Isto é
assim.
pacífico.